Hello and welcome back to episode 19. Uh, this is only a couple minutes after I ended the stream as far as the save goes. Uh, my ship, the Big Drilla, is still stuck. It has far too much to be able to pull itself back up out of the hole, so I need to do something that me and the viewer Blob were talking about, which is put a couple more large thrusters pointing forward on the ship here so I can actually pull it out, but I am out of nickel. So fortunately I have this little nickel hole over here and I've got my drill. So I'm just going to fill this thing up real quick so that I can actually get these large thrusters made.
Inventory full.
Because that definitely needs nickel. I've got the cobalt and iron that I need, but I ran out of nickel. Fortunately, I don't think it should be too much, so if I actually do fill up the ship here, I will have extra nickel. If I don't, I'll probably have enough to actually get those thrusters done at the very least, so that I can bring that back over and mine more with the Big Drilla after I dump everything off. And I just know I need to be more careful with it while I'm on the surface of the planet. It does work much better for space mining, which, you know, I'm getting close to finished with my Europa surface station. So my next project, my next major project will actually probably be a space station around Europa. Because from there I should be able to bounce around throughout the entire solar system more effectively. The Mars-like planet does appear to me to be rather central to the bulk of the planets here in the system.
Inventory full.
Let's see, how much have I got in here so far? 18k? Yeah, that should be plenty enough. Before I actually park this ship over there, though, I want to make sure that I have yield modules on my nickel. I'm pretty sure I do, because the nickel should be the third one in this first line over here, and all of those have yield modules on them. Oh, I still have my ore detector on. Let's just turn that off. Alright, I'm just going to leave that hovering there for a moment while I go double check. Not all of my refineries have yield modules yet. I need to get on that. That's depressurize. I want to repressurize. There we go. So this one here should be the nickel. It is, and it has all of its yield modules. I was correct. At this point, it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I put that together. So of course I can't remember entirely which ones have which. What is this? Ah. It is a signal I had turned off. This should be that button right there. A little bit of nickel. And other than that, just a bunch of parts I can grab real quick. Finicky the way it's having me aim here. Okay, there we go. Get this locked up. Dump all of that in. I'm likely going to be using the welding ship here to be able to get all of those, or to get those two thrusters and some conveyor piping on the ship over here. Of course, the whole time I also have it just burning ice in the O2H2 generators, because I have my two engines on right now, I believe. Yeah, you can hear them. So there's a small chance that it'll actually let me back out of here. Only a small one, though. So I'm definitely going to need to redo that. I also need to punch these out one more because they are being burned. I did not get the right distance there. I thought it was 6, but apparently it is 7 or more. So I will have to do some experimentation and fixing with that. Let's get over here. Get everything out of this ship. I still got all these metal grids and steel plates. That one's full. This one isn't. There we go. It still has iron and cobalt to be cut down in there. So let's actually check the refineries. Hide the empty refineries. So cobalt, iron, nickel, uranium, and gold are still going. So let's see here. I'm going to need, let me just go, I might need some steel plates just so I can mock things out here. I did turn it off on making all of the metal grids and such. But I need to figure out how many conveyors I'm going to need, because these do burn 3 out away from them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 6, 12. I'm just going to use conveyor blocks on these. Don't much care. And then on the end of those conveyor blocks, I will go ahead and throw large hydrogen thruster. And that should allow me to push back out of the hole. I do think that I have enough lifting thrust to actually keep it up once I get it out of the hole and turned around. I just don't have enough to actually get it out of the hole. So I do have to be far more careful with this in the future, or when I do the redesign, figure out a good way to get all the thrusters I need to be able to push it out of the hole there. Okay, let's get back in here. And go to production. Now all of these assemblers should be empty. I guess not all of them are. I thought I had turned all these off. So that was eating some of the nickel I need, but that's fine. I've got them off now. So first, conveyor, not von Veer. Alright, there's the 12 conveyor junctions. And my hydrogen thrusters. Oh, there we go. So I need 2 of those. Should hopefully be enough. And then hop out. Okay, so that actually does work. The more you know. So let's go ahead and get the 4 more conveyor junctions and my 2 large hydrogen thrusters. Oh, that went in small block format. These all went in small block format. So I bet what is in my ship is just for the small block. That said, I know I made everything in large blocks, so I can go looking for all of these parts in here. So, construction, get all of that in there. I don't need the steel plates for this stuff. The steel plates, large steel tubes, are actually for the thrusters, I believe. But I should now have everything for those, so let's just go ahead and get that large hydrogen thruster, large block variant. Can't 13 metal grids, it says. That's silly. Okay, so if I'm correct, that should be everything I need. Let's go see about putting together this stuff and getting this Big Drilla out of the hole. Okay, I did leave its parking spot open over there. This has far more cargo than my little cargo ship, which I just find quite hilarious. It also has much more hydrogen. I don't feel bad leaving it here. So let's grab some interior plates. I just need 12 of those. And some steel plates. I honestly just need 2. 'Cause I'm not welding this up by hand this time. Stop being small block. There we go. Okay, now that should definitely be far enough out to not be burned. At least that is the hope. Let's see. And then throw these on here. I don't think I named this thing yet, did I? No, this thing still has no name. Flying around on my ship with no name. Okay. Let's just go ahead and start it. These and get all of that online. Whoa, ouch. That was a resounding thud. Okay, what does it not have to be able to weld these up? The steel plates. I didn't put the steel plates in. I am very silly. Well, technically it should have put the steel plates in. The fact that it didn't is its own fault. But I'll have to go back and get those. It's missing all kinds of other parts too. Alright, so let's see what I am missing. Some motors and small steel tubes. And a bunch of steel plates. Oh, let's go ahead and go get all this stuff back. I'll just use the Big Drilla's parking spot over here. Okay. Now that should be everything. I hope. Okay, something just crashed. I'm going to go ahead and pause up and try figuring out what happened here. Okay, so I just lost everything I had done already, so I'm going to go ahead and get all of that completed to where we were, which is getting these thrusters up here on the Big Drilla. So yeah, it's completely undone everything. I still have to come back and do the mining again. I have to cancel everything that's in the assemblers again, but hey, at least this time I can do that before I get my nickel, so it's not just wasting it. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that real quick, and then yeah, I will bring it back and we'll see if we can get the Big Drilla out of the hole. Just get all these shut down real quick. There we go. So yeah, I will bring this back in a second for you. It's probably going to be another 20-ish minutes for me. And we'll get that finished. Okay, so I think I have everything caught back up. Let's just go ahead and throw down a save just in case. I believe I have everything I need in here to get this done. Probably more than what I need, but that would be better than not having everything. We shall see. Let's get down here next to my oops. Or, you know, fly right past it. That also works, I suppose. Keep forgetting that this has small thrusters on it. No large. Alright, so I need 2 steel plates and 12 interior plates. And let's get all this set back down again. There's 6 of each of those. Those 2, and that should be everything in my inventory. Yep. And see if I could actually fly this in first person to get it up here. Oh, it's working on welding this. I thought it was still on that conveyor. There we go. There's one of those new thrusters online. the rest of this put together, and then fly back to base with this thing, come back and grab the Big Drilla. Because hopefully now it can get out of this hole. Which, fortunately, that was the primary thing I wanted to get done today, because the crash took a good chunk of my playtime that I had available. So once I get done with this, that will be the end of the video. I think in between finishing this project and starting on my next major project, I'm definitely going to be trying to build a combat ship. I don't have a lot of experience there. With building them, I mean. Got a decent bit of experience with combat in this and other space games, just not building the combat vessels. Alright. So we've got 2 more large thrusters on there. Let's see if this will work. Well, it's slowly pulling out, but something blew up. Oh. My entire drill array. Let me check that. Was it the drills or also... Yeah, it was also the frickin' large cargo container. Why did the large cargo container blast off? That is not good. And this is very damaged. Alright, so I'm going to have to cut all of that up and haul everything back over. The Big Drilla needs a redesign. Like I said, it's perfectly capable of flying right side up with all of those full cargo containers. Oh, of course I have 2 brake thrusters that aren't on my braking group. That would have been a good thing to pay attention to. Alright, so I suppose my welding ship would be my best bet to gather all of that. Either that or just dumping off what's in here and using this okay, so I can't get to that parking spot with these on there. So let's come over here and I suppose do a quick reconfiguration on this. Oh, those are turned on. I don't want to be in that while they're turned on. Also, they're trying to repair themselves. Okay, so grinders. These use a lot of the same materials, so I should be able to get them mostly up and running. Yep, I'm just missing 6 motors. And there we go. So let's go grab back those thrusters that I put on there that aren't needed now. Let's just go to the tool blocks, pull these down. I do want to build another one of these that's exactly the same, but just uses grinders instead of welders. This ship is very empty right now. Now, because of the way these grinders work, and the fact that this goes all the way back into primary components of my ship, I won't be able to go all the way with this without being very, very careful. Like that. Haha. And take this one off too. Well. Okay, those still work at least. Now, technically, I should be able to go ahead and land this thing now. I just want to get rid of this arm. And I still have to go and pick up all of that ice. Okay, I think I may have nicked something there. Nope, it just sounded like it. Alright. So if that can hover for a moment, let's go ahead and get this big piece landed. And it certainly is a big beast. Even though, like, half of the ship is gone. Well, not quite half of the ship, but a large chunk of it. And 3 to turn those off. There we go. Okay. Now this, let's take it over and empty it out and build another welder on there, or grinder rather. And go see about cleaning up the mess. Because I don't want to leave a big mess there, especially when that's necessary parts in that big mess. Okay, grab here. I guess that was all that was on board. All right. So let's grab small grid grinder. That is on page 2. All but 2 computers. That's nice. There we go. All right, and we've got that together. Let's go ahead and make a grinders group. And pull that down. That'll just make things much, much easier. So let's go find the giant hole. This thing can't hold its weight going up and down like this. It's going to be slowly slipping down. Actually, it can do it while it's empty, but not when it's carrying really any kind of weight. So let's just go ahead and slide in down here. I'm going to try taking off with all of that ice. Don't want to get too close, don't want to burn all of that. If I'm going to waste anything though, the ice would be the thing wasteful. gonna say I should have some kind of place to reach in here. Yeah, that's gonna take forever and ever. So I'm just gonna say, forget the rest of that ice. We're on Europa. I can handle wasting some of that. But let's back up here. And get to grinding. Because all of these materials I don't want to waste. Why you fall now? What am I caught on? A little voxel. Okay. So again, have to be careful here because it can't hold itself up well. Exactly like that. I just keep blowing up these grinders. If I get some of this down, I should be able to perhaps get the parts to build a couple more grinders on here again. Okay, grinders off, back up a bit. Yeah, all components successfully grabbed. And I'm going to do things in third person so I'm less likely to blow things up, I think. Go back in here. Grinders, add that to it. And that's all three of them on, should be. Yes. All right. Wait, I just saw another container fall, didn't I? Ice. Ice. Okay, these are all full of ice. Apparently. What, is this full? No? There's still more cargo containers. We have two more. So I don't know why it was dropping bits. I mean, I know why the containers are dropping, but there was interior plate there that I have no idea why. And what is in this little container? Steel. Little container here, more steel. Alright, so this is probably actually going to take a couple trips, and I'm not going to be able to get all of it with the welding ship itself. Because of the angle I have to have the welding ship at. If I can clear out enough space, I might be able to come in here at a better angle. But I need a lot of space for that. This is not a small ship. It's a small grid ship, but it's not a very small one. And I'm dropping, of course, all of those lights because I can't see them from this angle. They're all underneath And now I've run out of room in the hole. And let's check those cargo containers again. Still have 1.5 to go. Yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that like button down below. And if you're wanting to see what else I'm getting up to, there's always that subscribe button. Until next time, have a good one.